My name is Chuck. I'm a sergeant in the Criminal Investigations Division. My work week usually runs about 40 hours a week, depending on what's going on. My day starts with when I come in, I review all the cases that was written by patrol officers overnight and the day before. I then disseminate and assign the cases to detectives within our division. We then hold a morning meeting where all the detectives gather, discuss their cases, and see if there's any connections to be made. Throughout the day, I'm available to the detectives to assist them in cases and assist them in working some cases when we get backlogged. I'm on call for a couple weeks out of the month and available at night and on the weekends for major cases to be called out and assist the Uniform Patrol Division with those cases. As a sergeant in the Criminal Investigations Division, often when there's a major crime, I will respond to the scene, and then I will assist the Patrol Division in making sure a perimeter is set up, and then organize the detectives. And then as a team, we'll go out into the neighborhood and do what we call a canvass of the neighborhood, looking for possible witnesses or information that's related to the crime that we're investigating. Also assist with the crime scene unit as they go over all the evidence at the scene and they photograph, take fingerprints, and we'll take information that we learn during our investigation, relay it to crime scene so they know where to look for certain evidence. If a suspect's identified, I'll help the detectives as we go out and try to locate and arrest the suspect. Oftentimes that'll include surveillance and more interviews of family members and doing records checks through the computer. Once they're arrested, we'll do what we call an interview of the suspect that's video recorded, and myself and the detective will sit down with the suspect and through a team effort try to obtain a confession from the suspect about the crime. One of the main cases that I remember working on is, as a sergeant, I supervised a homicide where a man killed his girlfriend who was pregnant because his wife was coming back into town. Over the next few weeks, the lead detective and our team of detectives, about 7, gathered lots of circumstantial evidence, some DNA, an earring, some video surveillance, and cell phone records. And all those pieces were put together after about a month to put a case together and later on convict the man for murder. Some of the education requirements are to have a high school diploma or a GED, but there's a movement nationwide to require an associate's degree before somebody can become a police officer. Most departments, after you've been hired, require different levels of degrees, whether it's an associate's or a bachelor's degree, to be eligible for promotion. Most of the time, police officers get those degrees in criminal justice administration. Though there are degrees in psychology and organizational leadership that can assist you as you move up in rank. To be a police officer, some of the personality traits or skills that'll be helpful would be to have good decision-making skills, to be able to show some empathy, to be patient when you're dealing with people on the street, good communication skills. Probably the best part of the job is the satisfaction of putting the bad guys in jail. When you work very hard, sometimes over months, to collect all the evidence and gather all the information you need, and to be able to go back and tell the victim that you put the person responsible for committing the crime against them, and you've been able to put them in jail and hold them accountable, gives you a lot of satisfaction. A good example of being able to put the bad guys in jail was I got involved in an operation we did where we used police officers on the internet posing as young teenage girls and boys, and they were meeting guys on the internet who were coming to the house to have sex with these 12 and 14-year-olds, or they thought they were. When they arrived at the house, we met them at the front door and were able to take them to custody. And over a week of working about 14 to 16 hours a day, we're able to take 25 guys off the street that intended to have sex with teenagers. The worst part of the job is probably the time that you have to spend, especially when you're in the criminal investigations unit. When you have a major case, quite often you have to work late, you have to work on your days off, you have to wake up and come out in the middle of the night whenever the situation arises, and that takes a lot of time away from family and makes it hard to spend time with your family because you're always having to be called out to go to work. Some final advice before you consider taking on a career in law enforcement is to do a very good self-evaluation, because there's several things you need to consider. One is the financial impact of law enforcement. Nobody has gotten rich doing this job, but I don't think anybody that's doing this job for a period of time and making a career out of it is looking to do it for money. You're looking to do it for the service and the accomplishment of helping other people. The job is very dangerous, so you need to be prepared to put yourself and your life on the line to protect other people and your fellow officers. You have to be ready to be part of a team, and what that means is quite often what we do is teamwork, and nobody gets to stand out and be the star. So there's not very much glamour. It's not like TV. We don't have any superstars. A lot of the work is very dirty, it's very tedious, and nothing happens in an hour.